Hello! Oh, don't put the video on now, we're going for quite some time, you'll run out of battery. But hello to the lady with the camera, hello. Welcome to 4 p.m. everybody. Who's been to Mona for the first time? Lots of people, it's amazing. I think everyone's been here, but no, there's still people who haven't been here before. Welcome, and I hope you had a great day. This is an amazing installation for us to offer you, called 4 p.m. And who's seen Ben Salter sing downstairs? Who's seen, yeah, amazing, just amazing. So Ben and I actually are both in the position of having this unique position of being able to make things for you rather than you look at finished things. A process of art is something we probably less of us have framed stuff on the wall, less of us are kind of master artists, but most of us are makers, and most of us struggle with making. We begin lots of things, but finishing stuff's really tricky, isn't it? We begin heaps of stuff and we just fill our drawers with beginnings and don't finish stuff because we're, don't have the courage to say it's not good enough, it doesn't meet the standard, can't frame that on a museum, no. But Ben and I, we don't have that choice. We're just here to make stuff in front of you, and come what may at 4 p.m. for me, these magnificent musicians arrive to roll my turd in glitter and offer it to you and hope that it turns out to be something. So we're not here to inspire you, but hey, if you are, that'd be great too. So my name is Dean Stevenson, and I've been here today at the piano. You've probably seen me here, writing for, this is the day 133 days. I've been here in the museum writing a brand new piece each day. So if you've read the little blurb in the O device that talks about every day is a new start, I can't sort of keep working on yesterday's piece or do a cover of a Spice Girls tune. I can't do that. Although I have quoted a bit of Gershwin and stuff from them and just but I started life as a drummer. I don't play piano. So for those who think, oh, he must be a composer, they brought him in from somewhere special. No, I don't do those things. I just spent a lot of years as a drummer and go, I want to do other stuff, and then just sort of built this for myself. So I'm here through my own tenacity and bloody-minded determination to do this, and you can do anything too. So on this day, 133, the last 2 days were a bit sad actually. They were kind of miserable, not miserable, but they were awkward, funny, disharmonic stuff. Thinking of the people in Ukraine who just want to take their kids to school and buy bread, and instead they're, not. So that was the last 2 days. But today I thought I'd better make something a little happier today, just for my own peace of mind. So I've written something a little happier perhaps, with a slow middle bit. And I don't yet know how this sounds. I've just been at the piano, as I said, I don't play the piano, I just kind of can bash out a melody, but I don't know how it sounds, and neither do the string players. So everything that you hear and we hear is the first time, and which means that we can't play it all the way through yet, so we'll stop and start and have like an open rehearsal. So welcome to our rehearsal, ladies and gentlemen. If you'd like to offer something, please, give us a yell. If you're curious about something, if you don't know what we've just said, please ask. Don't be in the dark, let's be kind of informal here. Please welcome these magnificent musicians, Hayato, Natalia, Damien, and Alex. Ladies and gentlemen, and people. Okay, I'll keep the mic on so you can hear us chat, and if you hear me say something you don't get, just ask. It's important to ask as we start to work through day 133. Right, 6/8. There's some bits, and I'll point to it, which has more of like a kind of 3 feel than a 2 feel. We'll point those out. Starts with first violin for the first 5 bars, which is for the first half of the melody, and then the viola, she plays us the second half, and then A, we all kind of jump to join in. Boom, 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 boom. That happens at A, and then we can have a little kind of a pause at B while we do some extra harmonic stuff. And then at D, the cello does a bit of that melody, which the first violin started with. And then we have another kind of nice big fat staggered entries from E, John, Bon, Bing, Ba, John, Bon, Bing, Ba, at E. What's this? It should be relatively straightforward. It goes to a kind of a slow feel. To me, those double stops are really awkward. I hope they are. first one's kind of floating over the top. Use those, the rhythm there is kind of a guide just to be sort of rhythmically interesting over the top of the groove. And then when we get to, I should have put a marker in. 112, let's treat that as another rehearsal marker. So that's where we're just going to just drill that D natural, and then there's this kind of melody in the cello, which kind of sets up the return of the theme again at letter K. All right, make sense? No, it doesn't. Bloody liars. No one has any idea what's going on. I don't know what's going on. Heaps of questions. Okay, here we go from the start. Let's go. First time. Oh, sorry.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Start slow.
Yeah, sorry.
That'd be fun, wouldn't it?
Like, was it three, so-
Alex just went, no! 2.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. 2. Read that for the first time. Okay.
It'll be better.
Cool. Yes, that's cool. We just know. No one died. No one died. If that's the best bar, then yes. Anybody got any questions yet? I've got heaps. Have you got me beat me to it? Anyone? No? Okay, you will, I'm sure. But if you've always wanted to ask a violinist a question and you've never been close enough, now's also a good time. Go for another crack? Let's start. Okay. 1, 2. Yeah, I know, right? This is up an amazing notch. We'll probably get more volume, I think, into that too when we get going. Let's put at C a crescendo for 2 bars, for 3 bars. No, 4. So between C and D, it's a crescendoing, and then decrescendo at the beats, the last 2 quarters into D.
So should I ignore the diminuendo in bar before D?
Yes, you totally should. Absolutely, ignore that. Just want a crescendo for everyone from C to D, and then we can diminuendo just into D.
Where did you want it louder? Just from the
what's that?
You said it would be up a
I
notch. Did
think
you mean
from D.
Just the volume.
I don't
Yeah,
know.
we'll get that one more familiar with it. So when you get to 2 bars before E, there's that. Yeah, that's it should be a minor chord at the top as opposed to major. So it's just that. Yeah, it should be. I think the harmony underneath you might be different.
So we should reach fortissimo D.
What's that?
Fortissimo D.
Forte.
Means forte.
Forte.
Previously forte. Do you want us to drop back before the crescendo?
Well, you're at mezzo forte at D, cello and first violin to dance together until 4 before E, and then we'll all come in again. Yes, you should definitely be, yes, mezzo forte 4 before E as the crescendo, so 3 bars before E is the crescendo to forte, and then come back down again in the bar before E. Make sense?
Crescendo means get louder in Italian. Yeah. I speak Italian.
I think 34 minutes forte. Crescendo 3 bars.
Forte means loud,
Forte.
and piano means soft.
And
Which is weird because when this instrument was first invented, the first incarnation of this instrument, they called it a forte piano, which means soft loud. That's the dumbest name for an instrument I've ever heard, a soft loud. Can you play me a tune on the soft loud? Let's go again from D. Let's from letter D. First violin and cello. Make sure we've got that harmony right. Well, it's 3 bars before E in your ascension. 3 bars before E. 2, 2. So first one has a bar itself. Bar before F is just violin. Right. From E, make those crescendos nice and proud. From E. 1, 2. Is F. Give the cello some room here. Viola and cello together. Okay, so that would be happy. That was weird, but that's okay. Let's go from letter G again. So the cello,
just
from F, cello has the floor. Give cello the room, and then join by viola G.
so if the third note staccato, is that correct?
Yeah, just detach is all it means, rather than
Okay.
You figure that.
Wherever that figure comes,
Yes, it's a little shorter.
where are we going from now?
From G, F. And then the 2. About 75 and 76 to crescendo.
Crescendo.
Decrescendo, and then at A78, crescendo again into 80. Into 80, and then we have a decrescendo at 80 for everyone else. So viola has the melody, which is 4 after H, but then 3 before I, the first line will pick it up again.
So do you want a bit more there?
Yes, please, more from you, absolutely. Thank you. It says piano, but let's make that solo volume.
Sorry, Dave. I had a crescendo marked the bar before I, and then forte
Sorry.
in I.
Yes, everyone has a crescendo there.
Yes.
Yes,
Oh,
absolutely.
sorry.
Has anybody got any questions
G's
yet?
and we have it together,
Yes?
right?
Yeah, and if D is what on the top side, you would separate it. So if you,
Yes.
Okay.
you separate the second from
Sure. Just wanted to check some notes of G. We have A flat in the sound bar.
Good question. This gentleman has just
Oh,
asked
yeah,
how much, when I was writing it, how much of the arrangement of the orchestra is in my head, how much is on the page, and how much are we doing now. The notes aren't changing, there's nothing wrong. But what the pencil marks of what we're doing now is, like, if the crescendo I write is in the wrong place, or just isn't loud enough, or if there's a passage where it's just violin and cello, the other two sit still for a second, the cellist will write, it's just me and violin, so I watch him. So I know who to watch at a certain passage, particularly if, like in this session, we've got viola and cello, so I'll say, we're doing a line in unison, so we kind of lean in together. So they're the notes that I haven't written, and they'll make now to know who to look at certain cues. And in a second, I mean, often what happens is, we'll run this through a few times, and then I'll come and get a chair out there, because the conductor in front of a quartet's just done. It just never happens. I'm only here now because we're learning the piece together. They're self-contained, and it's always better when I leave the stage. That's not just because of me, it's just because they don't need to have a fifth person to watch. They can watch each other. It's much more economic that way. Yeah, so we're just making extra of who looks at who notes and fixing them on the stage. Where did we get to? Go for letter H, please. Letter H. I'm trying to pick up just a touch. 1 and 2. So 4 bars, this is the same figure, sounds like it's just getting slow. The tempo stays the same, but it's stretching out. So in bar 80, 5 before J, really dig into those. If you've got quavers, make them all kind of quite staccato actually, the whole bar. Gung, 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 gung. And then you spend those 4 bars before J just softening out.
Okay, sure. Yep.
So you don't want a decrescendo in bar 80.
Actually, no, you're right. Let's get rid of the crescendo. Get rid of the decrescendo in bar 80.
Yeah,
So it's just stay loud and then stop at a cliff.
same as the bar before D.
Good, that's much more effective. Let's go from 4, 5, 6, 7, 78. Bar 78. 1 and 2. Still the same. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Oh, I see. Yep, sorry.
Yeah, that's fine. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, from J. 1 and J. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
and gentlemen. It's beautiful, isn't it? Anybody got any questions? Over the back. I do try, yes, to have the same 4 instruments. I had 4 days where it was different instruments, 3 brass and 1 woodwind. But I have chosen to have strings. Sometimes there's piano, sometimes double bass, but most of the time it's string quartet. And the reason for that is because I wanted the highest chance of sending myself absolutely bananas. The definition of insanity, if you ask the same question, expect a different result. That's what this is. Each day I face the same 4 instruments mostly and try and get something new. So drilling down into that's most likely to send me batty and get the most interesting result. That's what happens. There's about a dozen or so players on kind of rotation. They're very busy people. So their schedules don't allow them to be here every day. So they do their best and extraordinary. There was a question. Right.
Opening credits, and suddenly we move to establishing scenes.
Yes.
Do you, when you start this process, do you think of something particular, or do you just start with notes on the page?
Good question. Do I start with something particular or just notes on the page because we seem to be changing scenes? Is the question. Mostly it's just notes on the page. Mostly it really is. It really is. And usually, apart from the last couple of days when I was thinking of the Ukraine thing, apart from very particular stories, I don't want to tell you what I was thinking about. Because we're all of an era where we grew up being really good at watching music. We watch it more than we listen to it. Who regularly closes their eyes and just actively listens to music on its own. 2, 3, 4. Yep. You're still the minimal amount of people in the room. Most of us watch music attached to film, TV ads online. And so when we grow up, that's how we learn particularly these instruments, particularly these, not so much rock and roll, video clips. So we learn to understand that there's a drama in this. So when I just hear music, I'm still probably remembering all the films I've ever seen and imagining a dramatic story over the top, because that's the way I learn to experience music through film. But for me to tell you what I thought, I was imagining today I was on a Yorkshire moor and she was there like, no, it doesn't matter. I could have been thinking of my dog in a gutter. It doesn't matter what you feel when you listen to it's important, and I'd like you to have that experience for yourself, because too often it's dictated what you should be thinking and imagining when you hear the music. So by all means, and maybe when we're done, you can tell me where you were, in the bow of a ship or in the gutter yourself, in the belly of a cow. I don't know. You tell me, right? With Gregory Beck, right? Me and Greg. Yeah. Yeah. So there you go. So usually it's just notes and how I felt in the morning. All right, here we go. Let's keep going. Questions or we'll keep going? No, we'll keep going. Ooh. That was very nice. Any questions about that? Double stop's good, Damien. Fantastic job. Thank you. Fantastic, interesting harmony. So what happens now? At 112, we have this just D natural just drilling, and then the cello begins. Perhaps at the decay, we go back to Allegretto groove for a few bars, or 3 bars before these other two join in. And there's a crescendo into L, which is the same thing, melody start, it's just like a bit of a pop thing where you'll stop, the DJ cuts the thing, and then this one comes over the top. So are you happy with that 3, 4, that sequence play?
Sorry.
Right.
Yeah.
Lovely. Let's go then from 1 and 5, 6, 7, 8, 109. 109, please. One more time from where we went for 190. Same place. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 109. Same place. Yep. Now you know how it ends, and that ending to me sounds like shit, the musicians have arrived. Just put a full stop on it. Didn't quite get all the bars that I wanted to, but there it is. Are there any bits we want to go over run again? You can have a think, yes?
Just before D,
D.
and that same, it happens again before, like 5 before J, but I've got a trill marked, but I don't know if it should be to a G flat, because I don't know, the harmony in the other parts seem to be doing
Can I
that.
hear the bar before D, please? Bar before D. Do a semitone?
Yeah. Oh, semitone?
Yeah, try that, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
No, G natural. I think either of them work actually.
Do you want me to do
Just drill an F. Just try the F. Just go, yeah, just swell on F.
Or I could do, oh, okay.
Hold it. Again, P, yeah, that's clearer. Just an F.
Okay.
Get rid of the trill. Thank you. Yeah. That's easy. And the same when it repeats in later.
Dean, should we stay loud to the end or
Yes, stay loud to the end. Absolutely, stay loud to the end.
So
Please.
not,
Yes.
yeah, we all fade
All right, we're going to run this for the first time. Anybody got any questions before we do it? Yes, over the back. Another question. Great. Good question. What's my timeline? What time do I find out what instruments I've got? I always know it's going to be these instruments. Yeah. So 2 violins, viola, cello. That helps me. The boss, who runs the place, likes to gamble. And he, given that, he wanted to, when it started, it was like this kind of dice rolling thing. He said, well, every morning we'll roll the dice and we'll tell you who's coming. So I could get, banjo, tuba, flute and leaf blower. I've got no idea what's going to show up. But the reality of that in any city of the world is that no city could have that many musicians, especially leaf blowers, on standby waiting to call. No, not your time today. Oh, I'll go home again. Got to pay them regardless. So we have to book these guys months in advance because these are all Tasmanian symphony orchestra players and just busy people. So yes, and they're good, aren't they? Bloody clever. Yes, so I always know it's going to be this unless, yeah, that's it. Has been for ages. So there you go. I'm sat at the piano when the doors open at 10. Yeah, so it was a blank page at 10 o'clock. And then the full stop came at about 4:15. There you go. I did have lunch. I went to the loo a couple of times. Yes, I did that. I will make an album afterward. We did come into the museum at night time and record some of the best ones when it's all the noise is gone. Yeah, because some of them really aren't finished. The thing with beginning things and finishing things, like finish in a day, is that I don't always get to. Some of them just never quite get there, do they? And, oh well, I'd like to finish that, but I've got to write another one tomorrow. So there's a bit of a rub for me to not be able to do that. I will do that later in the year when this installation is done. But some of them are really good and we do record those. But if you like what you hear, you'll notice microphones. So these aren't amplifying anything. These instruments are designed to be amplifiers. So that they are recording. I do have a Patreon,
And you can find it as a mailing list on there, just by the piano as you go out on left of the piano. You can put your email down there and find out how to get those live recordings of every single day. And there's also a live stream. There's a camera right here in front of me. Going to my YouTube, Dean Stevenson Music. You can see all 133 days. A whole chat, everything. So what's your name? Elise. Hi, Elise. On the count of three, everyone say hi, Elise. 1, 2, 3. Hi, Elise. How fucking weird is that going to be when you watch it back, huh? Okay, so you can do all of that. So you have access to all of these live recordings, but yes, we will record the better ones. Okay. We ready? We're going to get another question. Great. I don't know yet because I've just heard it in bits, and I think there's some. We'll do it a few times. So if you just want to hear it once and you've got some pajamas to do, that's fine. So off you go, and it's going to be good. But we'll play it a couple of times, and you will hear it just as we all get more familiar with it. It'll get better. So right out to 1:45, I'll answer that question and tell you how I feel. Yeah, there we go. All right, here we go. Day 133.
Hayato, Natalia, Damien, and Alex. There we go. So where were you with Gregory? Okay, right. Okay, so we'll give it another. Thank you very much for coming. Thank you very much. We're going to give it another go and see what happens, shall we? Any questions? Any questions? Yes. Mm. Yes. Polaroid of composing, that's a great way of putting it, yes. Yes. I think, because I was saying before, without being able to really finish a thing in the day, there's two things. One, sky's the limit's the worst way to start any project, because it's just awful, you know, you're better off with an anvil and a leaf blower, aren't you? You'll do better work if you limit yourself. There's swapping things now. But I think today there's probably a few different things, and had I given myself more time, I'd build them better and longer and be a better piece. I am guilty of this, of always going like, oh, it's 3 o'clock, I'd better, repeat the chorus, so to speak, and sort of put a full stop on the end, rather than going, bump, oops, haven't got time to finish. Now, I haven't done that yet because we always just want a moment to clap. The last couple of days I wrote these really quite interesting harmonic things. I was thinking of, Europe, and so we literally finished and the audience went, now, sorry, right now, because it wasn't obvious, because that was my headspace. So I think there's a space for that, but usually I just put a full stop on, which does cheat me of the ability to kind of keep running, and that's just the thing with having a day. If I had, if I had 2 days to do a piece, it would be different. So I have these analogies of horizontal work and vertical. If you're all, made work, when you've got a deadline, or even written an essay in uni, horizontal is when you just do that through a verbal diarrhea. You just make lots of work, long as you can, make as much crap as you can. And the vertical work is the spell check, when you go back and check it. And the longer you can leave the spell checking, the more work you get done. So in this process, I have to go horizontal and just make lots and lots and lots of rubbish before I then go to check all the spelling of it. So if I was working on this again, tomorrow would be a spelling check day. Today was just the horizontal. So there you go. Yes. Oh, I can't hear you. That's a good question. Was I like that before? I'm more like it now. If I was like it before, I mean, I've been writing to commission for a few years, but never this amount of content. At the moment, we're cracking on 7 hours of continuous music already in the 133 days. So there's a lot of stuff, and I haven't written that much music before in my life. But I always had time to go back and sort of check it, and you're always in collaboration with the director or something, right? So they come in and say, we'll change that, get rid of that, so someone else is involved. Whereas this is just me, and there's really just 45 minutes with these guys to do that quick nudging into place or a vertical check before we go. So it's very different, and I think what my process might be like after this will be quite different. What I know is I'm now throwing out much better stuff. Like in the first 50 days, I was like, I was shitting diamonds. Oh my God, can you see that? Now I'm just, no, not good enough, and throw it out. That's just because the bar's been risen, isn't it? Yeah, which you would do too if you were just pumping out something every day at home, be it a poem or whatever it is you do. All right, let's give it a go.
Anything that you want to...
Let's have a quick look. When we go into, let it, K, I'm sorry,
crushing it around.
No, you're dragging it.
Oh, okay.
Dragging it. So I think part is wanting to kind of push, which is good. It's kind of get more jumpy.
Get the arrow the right way around. Get the arrow the right way around.
Just more volume overall. Yep. Lift everything up. Keeping more. Whatever that word for that.
Okay. Yep.
Thanks,
So from the beginning?
From the beginning, here we go. We'll be whistling that one on the way home. You and Greg. All right, all good? We got time to do it one more time, and then we're going to usher people out of the museum. You know, any questions before we go? How's it feel for you now? You like it? You like it? You've been one of them. So far, it's your favourite one. Yeah. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. Thank you so much, folks, for sticking around for 4 p.m. Hayato, Natalia, Damien, and Alex. My name is Stevenson. Thank you very much for being here. Have a lovely week. Take care and cheerio.